Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. Today we're gonna keep talking about changing up Minetest, shall we? In particular, we were going to talk about the function called Minetest.register_node. So how we add nodes to the world. Let's get started. First thing, if you don't know what a node is, it's just a block. It's like a cube, and the world is made up of these nodes, whether they're visible or invisible, whether they are a bush that doesn't quite take up the entire cube. Regardless, that is what a node is. So as we discussed in that tutorial, in a previous tutorial, the Lua API gives us tools that allow us to change the game. And so the function Minetest.register_node allows us to add a node to the game. And if you think about the different nodes in the game, that can mean different functionality. I mean, like lava is very different than just gravel or whatever it might be, or even air. So with that node, you can give the world a lot of additional or different flavor. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the init.lua that we copied from the book, and you'll see straight away that the first thing, the first thing is the print instruction. And then the second thing is Minetest.register_node. So that right there is the first tool that we are going to be learning and I'm going to introduce you to. Something that, as you may recall from the Lua, all the Lua lessons, I stressed tables and functions. More importantly, tables. But as you can see here, there are curly braces and there are regular parentheses. And so these indicate something. And if you remember, the curly braces, I stressed a lot, those are tables. That indicates that the contents between the two curly braces is table entries. And then these parentheses, in this case, following a word. And if this thing would please quit. Okay, so you can see, I'll just point to it with my finger as best I can. Anyways, register_node. And then you've got a open parentheses. And so that indicates that we are dealing with a function, because functions use parentheses to either call them, and particularly to define them. So that's just a little bit of backstory, back information, little stuff to know, so that it's not so weird what we're looking at. You can kind of have an idea of what these things are. Now for the register_node function, how is it used and what else is there? What else can I add to the node? That is defined in the Lua API. As I showed you in a previous tutorial, the Lua API has everything you could ever want. It's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. So that's where you go if you want to learn or check to see if there's certain functionality. So let's do that first. Well, let's take a second to look at the structure here. If my cursor doesn't cause a bunch of issues, maybe I'll use the arrows. First of all, we open parentheses on the register_node. The last one is down here. Okay, so it starts here and it goes here. So it's an entire encapsulation. And then after that, we have some text followed by a comma and then a curly brace, which, believe it or not, ends down here. So all of that stuff is encapsulated. By that stuff, I mean this is encapsulated by the curly braces. And as you would expect, there are commas separating each line because they are table entries. So this text right here, that is actually the name of the node. And there is a certain syntax that you must follow. Firstly, the mod name must be a part of the name. And as you can see here, it says my mod. Then colon, okay? So that you have to have the mod name and a colon. Then after that, you type out the specific name of that node. And in this case, it is node. So the name of the node is off by itself. It's outside of the table. So, but that's not a lot of a description for a node. We need more. We need the ability to define it further. And that's where the table portion comes in. So this is always going to be a part of your node declaration, okay? After that, you're going to have a table, and inside that table is going to be a lot of different things. In this case, there are 3 things: a description, self-explanatory, tiles, and groups. Tiles are the texture. We'll get to that some other day, but that's what the outside of the node is going to look like, defined by this picture. If I could, thank you. Defined by that picture, right? And then groups is kind of its category, so where this node fits in with, because it kind of Minetest lumps different nodes together in functionality and maybe properties, and so that's what you would do in groups. It also does give the node certain attributes if you put it into a category. So Cracky allows you to break it in some particular way. For instance, diamonds are not like dirt, because dirt can be broken by hand. Diamonds you have to use a steel or better tool, right? So that's kind of what groups is doing. But there's a lot more. So let me show you. First of all, we'll take a quick check at the textbook. Again, remember, I just get there by Googling Ruben Wardy modding book. And it's the first one. So we were on getting started chapter, and then we skipped over Lewis scripting. Well, we're going to skip over Lewis scripting because we spent the whole semester doing that. And then the third chapter is all about nodes, items, and crafting. Unfortunately, as you will find out, there's not a lot of explanation for nodes for some odd reason, and it might come later on in the textbook. But if we want to know more about how to define a node, what we have to do is go to the Lua API. All right. So and hopefully you've followed the instructions that I gave in a previous lesson for bookmarking the Lua API. And to pull up a bookmark, I know there's got to be a better way to do this, but Control B else pulls up the bookmarks and then bookmarks toolbar, which is up here somewhere. I don't know. I'm too lazy to find it. And then you can click on the bookmark that you saved. Close that bookmarks out, get that out of the way so it's not taking up precious resources, real estate. And then we're going to scroll down all the way down to the bottom of our chapters. I don't know, categories. Definition tables. Scroll down. Entities, ABMs, LBM. I don't know that one exactly. And we're looking for node. There it is, node definition. So in here it provides us with all of the other. I think this is pretty much every single attribute that you can use to define your node. Now, here's one that we saw: tiles, special tiles, color, and whatnot. So what you can do here is you can go through this and select some of these. What I mean by select is you can like copy. For instance, let's say I want to use this one. And the reason why I use this one as an example is because to set the value of this attribute, that being walkable, it's fairly simple. It's just a Boolean value. It's true or false. So it's really easy. It's way less chance of you messing it up. So I would try to stick to these. There's other ones also that specify a number between 0 and 1 or what have you. It will explain it in these comments, okay? So so I would recommend for now sticking to the simple ones. So I'm going to copy, highlight, copy, head on over to this VS Code, and so now I found something that, hey, you know what? I think my node needs that. Don't forget your comma, okay? And then you would paste, which is not working. Why is it not? Well, I have no idea why it's not pasting. So we are just going to type it out. Now, after saving it, we will see the results of Walkable when we actually run it. So when we actually run our world and have the mod enabled and all that stuff. So, all right. So what I want you to do is add 3 additional ones. Okay, add 3 additional attributes to the already defined node, just like I've shown you. Just underneath, add them as table entries. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.